he's come out under George W. Bush. He's come out attacking the Trump administration, saying you can't just blow up boats. There's a law, man. So even like the John Hughes of the world are like, this is not the same thing. But in terms of popular opinion, getting that word terrorism there is to harness that. And you also see that in the rhetoric that drugs are chemical weapons and that they are effectively weapons of mass destruction, and that and they're trying to pull that in. The other piece of it is the term narco-terrorism itself has its origins in the 1980s. It actually comes out of Peru in that government's fight against Shining Path, Sendero Luminoso, which is a Maoist guerrilla movement. But it gets adopted by the Reagan administration basically as a way of accusing Cuba, Nicaragua in particular, of participation in the drug trade, and then trying to use popular sentiment against the rise of crack cocaine in the United States, as well as powder cocaine. There was some moralizing going on in the States at the time. Nancy Reagan, the first lady, is doing, Just Say No. DARE comes out of this era. And it's a way to sort of harness all of that energy against, like, I don't want my kids to do drugs. I'm worried about the effects of drugs on my community, blaming a foreigner for it and saying it's these guys who are ideological enemies of the United States who are responsible for these things that are happening in your neighborhood, putting it all together and then trying to mobilize people against it. None of which was true at the time, by the way, either. Like the Cubans and the Nicaraguans weren't responsible for it. It was U.S. If anyone in Central America was responsible for it, it was American allies, including CIA assets, the Contras, the people fighting against the Sandinistas and things like this. But all that is to say that by looking at it in these much more complex ways, you understand, first of all, all of the different motivations. And in a lot of ways, the more motivations you have, the stickier something gets, and the more likely it is to be seen through to completion.